Welcome to the E3 Forensic Platform. This platform is designed to capture and analyze data from a variety of sources to find the valuable artifacts you need in your digital investigations. My name is Amber Schroeder, and I have been involved in the digital investigation space for a long time. While designing technology at multiple companies, I have always focused on clean workflows that can get you to the data you need. E3 is the combination of all my years of experience into an easy to use, affordable system for processing digital data from computers, smartphones, IoT devices, and cloud data sources. After you have gone through the virtual tutorials, you are welcome to reach out to us at forensics@paraben.com to set up a one-on-one personal demonstration or trial license. We are going to start using the E3 platform to analyze a computer image file of a Windows 11 system. We always start every case with a case creation. Once that is done, we are going to click on Add Evidence, go to the image file, and then we are going to use the auto detect function. Now, we will need to navigate the location of where our E01 file is. E3 supports a variety of image types, and we offer a free imaging tool as well. Now I will select the E01, and we are going to click Open. We can change the name of the data for our case and select the OK button. The E3 NTFS settings will pop up, and we can make our selections. These selections can search for deleted files and folder structures. Look in the NTFS root directory. Recover folder structure from a bad image, etc. We are going to leave everything default and click the OK button. Now we can start expanding the nodes of our image and go directly to data triage so we can see a roadmap of what happened. The E3 triage function runs very quickly and can immediately give you a promising idea of what happened with the machine you are investigating. You can identify items such as if cloud storage was used. In this example, it was OneDrive. From here, you can jump into OneDrive and look at the data that was there, such as documents and pictures. Triage can continue by going to downloads and seeing what potential artifacts are in this area. You can see the exe file that the suspect downloaded. You can see detailed data on any of the files from creation, access, and modification times, or other metadata attributes. E3 also allows us to have a full search function inside the triage feature. If we want to go into deeper analysis with a specific artifact, we can jump into an example with email. We see two email databases, and one of them is active. If we open our nodes, we see it is an Outlook OST file. We can immediately decide to open this artifact for additional processing and analysis. We can open in RAW mode, which allows the deleted messages to be recovered automatically. With email artifacts, E3 can also recover data from the email dumpsters and do corrupt file repair as part of the processing of these artifacts. As I expand the nodes in the email, I can see data from the inbox. If I want to do a specialized analysis of just this area, I can right-click and select to run the Content Analysis Wizard in E3. I typically will sort and index the data, and I also have the option to do an OCR or optical character recognition scan as well. There are advanced analysis options that will allow you to look at specific file types for deeper processing or do a customized image scan. Once I have made my selections, I select the Finish button. Data will start processing on a separate thread, and I can continue to do manual analysis. Once the processing is done, E3 will notify the user it is completed. I am going to continue to review the email by opening the email header and looking at the content of the message. You have hundreds of different viewer options that allow you to not only see the messages, but also attachments. In this message, I have two attachments that I can go and review the properties on. Once I receive the notification that the content analysis is complete, I can do more complex searches and review the data in the sorter. There are a lot of different search options available. Multiple languages are supported for searches as well as the OCR functions and searches. I can select keyword searches or add words to a skip list to filter my data results as well. I am going to use the advanced search options and select to search by text or by hex, Boolean, regular expression, or simple search. You can also search by emoji or emoticon, or we can load a set of words into a list to search them all. There are also a lot of predefined lists inside the E3 platform. I am going to select the Boolean expression option. If your expression is not correct, E3 will correct it. Once the information is found with the search, you will see the details below with counts of the locations of the searches. We click through those results, and the search results will be highlighted for review. Now you can click and bookmark the selected data and add details for your reference later. All of the bookmarks are then available in the bottom right corner. If you want to select a large group of results, you can highlight and add that information to a report from our search results screen. Once all the items are added to the report, we can generate, or I can add these items to a skip list to further refine what I am looking for. There is also an option to export the highlighted items in various formats. It could be exported as additional email formats or as a fresh Outlook email file. There are a variety of artifacts with each investigation, so let's look at another. We will explore to see what browser data our suspect had. We can review the different browsers in our triage and go to the data sources immediately. From here, we can expand to review browser histories, date and timestamps, downloads, and more. Details are key, and E3 provides a lot of information on every artifact it supports. Continuing to review the information, we can see everything from logins to passwords. Now, let's jump into Internet cookies. With cookies, we can see domains, expiration dates, creation dates, and more. The content analysis options are always available to you. On the right click, you can do a quick search of the data. If we continue to focus on triage, you can go to other valuable artifacts like jump lists, where we can see this data or go to the link files. Each area in data triage is designed to help you find potential vectors for data in an investigation. From malware investigations to intellectual property investigations, we can find data such as this PPT file, where we can go and review the media information. E3 is full of options that can adjust to each investigator's needs and workflow. With many built-in viewers, such as SQLite, we can easily find what we are looking for. You can also jump into logs and other specialized Windows files, or go through the parsing of the Windows registry. Many valuable artifacts can help to decode the activities of the user on the computer and dive into other details such as network connections, FTP connections, and more. If you prefer to approach your analysis with different timelines, there are multiple options available. I am going to browse through a few of these areas. When you sign up for a custom demonstration, each of these areas can be reviewed in depth so you can see specific artifacts. As I find valuable information, I can highlight, right-click, use my content analysis functions, or do a search. As we continue to explore, we can see data in the user accounts and when they last logged in. Your opportunities for data artifacts are endless, and E3 provides fast reference to many through the data triage. The full manual processing of the image is also an option for doing a full content analysis of the entire image and jumping into searches right away. You have options with your workflow with E3. Let us dive into the world of smartphone investigations. We will start out by looking at an iOS device. With E3, the acquisitions will change based on the firmware version and model. With this overview, I have already done a logical acquisition and enacted keychain data collection. Once we have our device imaged, we can expand all the nodes. We will start with parse data. We can see some useful information as we dive in, such as Bluetooth data and what was paired with our device. We can see the connection, time, device name, and even iCloud identifiers. We see a variety of paired and non-paired devices in Bluetooth connections. When we move from details like this to messages, we can see high volumes of data. To make the review easier, they have been broken into 10,000 messages per view window. As we select the section, we can see information such as conversation ID, corresponding ID, the type of message, and whether it was in inbox or outbox, as well as the sender-recipient numbers. If we keep scrolling, we will see the textual data as well as the date timestamps and more. There is a lot of metadata associated with messaging on smartphones, and E3 wants to show it all. If messages were audio messages, that data is also transcribed and displayed. Unique properties to messages, such as recalled, deleted, or edited, are key points in the message metadata that are displayed for the investigator's reference. When we see items like attachment types, E3 also provides us with where that data was found so we can reference back to the source. Other parsed data might include internet browser history and cookies. We can see the artifacts we would expect with their appropriate timestamps, as well as items such as suspended state browser data and even incognito data. Details from bookmarks, visit count, and if an item was pinned can also be discovered in this parsed data. Other artifact data specific to iOS can be parsed, such as the Interaction C data. Interaction C is a database found on Apple devices that tracks the interactions such as text messages of the user with recent contacts. You can dive into this information for details like the duration of a call when it expires, the transcription preview, and more. If we go to the parsed native applications, this iOS health data is also classified as IoT because it can come from the Apple Watch. We see valuable information about the watch and bio data such as the heart rate, current user information, how many steps they took, walking, accelerometer info, flights climbed, sleep, and state of mind. Depending on the version of your Apple Watch, this would also include GPS data. Other valuable data comes from keychain information such as the general password information and the Wi-Fi passwords. This will tell us what Wi-Fi this device has been connected to. We can see the network and the password associated. All the metadata for this information is also captured for review. The keychain data can also be used to capture credentials that can be used with the E3 cloud capture capabilities. General phone data such as the call history, the nature of the call, if it was inbound or outbound, as well as if it was the phone or FaceTime or another app making the call. Contact records and all their details are also included. These details can be anything with the contact, including adding images. If you want to get into the good data, let us jump into apps. Whether an app is parsed or not, E3 guides you to the raw data. This allows you to look at any of the information associated with the app manually. This is a wonderful way to quickly see the data of an app that is not parsed or to validate the parsing of an app. With the apps, we see all the valuable metadata from the manufacturer to the category. You can also see if an app was hidden or is password protected or not protected. Even when an app is hidden or protected, E3 will still capture that data and bring it into your forensic image for analysis. We can now jump into a popular app called WhatsApp. This app is designed for messaging, so we can expect to see that type of data. You can see details such as the time and date, sender-recipient numbers, the duration, the direction, whether it was incoming or outgoing, the message type, etc. Other apps like Waze might have geolocation data that can show where a person was or where they were going. When reviewing an app, you typically want to review the application permissions. These will show you what risk the app was on the device as potential malware or spyware. It can show if a user has allowed or not allowed an application to access the different device areas. E3 will give you a low suspect, or highly suspected application rating that is based on the level of access control the app has on the device. Now let us go one level deeper and look at the keychain data to capture data from the cloud. The cloud functions in E3 are included for anything associated with mobile devices with mobile licensing. All we need to do is export our authentication data file outside of our case and import it back in through the Cloud Import Wizard. Once the data is imported, all the available cloud keys are displayed and authentication and capture can occur. Along with all the built-in parsing, you have powerful content analysis functions in E3 that allow you to index textual data and sort data by header. These are valuable functions when working with mobiles, as images and other embedded files and apps will be sorted out easily into their categories. The data has been processed, and the OCR function can also be completed to allow optical character recognition in multiple languages. If we go into the Sorter tab, we can see the variety of files in context to the type of file they are. If I select to review the graphics, I can review thumbnails of the images and choose to do individual file searches. With task threading in E3, I can have multiple tasks running at once. If I want to return to the default view, I can also go to the search area and use one of the many different search options available to me. You can search in over 140 different languages, as well as with unique items like emojis. Searching is also available directly for a file on the right click. Once you've completed your analysis, there are a large variety of reports that can be run that easily share the data with others. Some of the reports are also available in other languages besides English. Let us dive into the world of smartphone investigations with Android. With E3, the acquisitions will change based on the firmware version and model. With this overview, I have already done an acquisition. With Android devices, there are multiple ways to acquire the device, from logical to rooting. There are a lot of acquisition options that are firmware and manufacturer dependent. I am going to start by expanding the nodes in the case to see what available data I can examine. The first area is the activity timeline. This is a unique artifact that allows us to see everything that was running on the Android device at a given time. You can distinguish between what the device was running and what the user was running. This can be a great asset if doing a car crash investigation or a potential exploitation of a device investigation. Everything down to the second is shown in this list. Let us jump over to the call history, where we can see the typical timestamp metadata and what activities there were on the device. Next, we can look at authentication data. This is a directory that is created by E3. The authentication data file in the directory contains potential cloud login details and can be brought back into our case as additional evidence using the Cloud Import Wizard. To do the import, you will export out the file and then import it through the Cloud Import Wizard. Our mobile licensing includes cloud functionality for mobile-related keys. E3 has specialized tools for more complicated captures like Google Data that are demonstrated in an additional tutorial video. Now let us go into the media store associated with Android. You can see a variety of data that includes the name, the title, the size, the date that it was added, the date that it was modified, and the duration. You can also see metadata such as alarms, ringtones, etc. We can also see other default items such as the default browser, calendar, etc. Where we get into what a user was doing on the device is when we dive into apps. We always start with the installed applications list. This allows us to get an overview of all the apps our user was working with. This is where you can start to look at the details from either a parsed perspective or a raw data perspective. The navigation of data in the apps is easy with E3. One of the unique features of E3 is the breakdown of the app permissions, so you can quickly see if there's potential for malware or spyware on the device. Each level of permission receives a ranking of potential risks. Details that are seen with any of the apps on the device include a lot of different properties, images, etc. We see this with a default app for contacts. When we move into the messaging, we see a variety of messaging from SMS to MMS to RCS. All are available in E3. You can see the services and properties associated with each message time. Depending on the type of image you did, you might also be able to recover messages and review that data. When you look at items such as attachments, all of the properties are also available. So if location services were turned on and associated with an image, you will be able to review and find that data in your searches. If I go back into the installed applications area, I can start to look at some of the apps. The data associated with WhatsApp is displayed, and all the properties are available to me. If they used apps such as Google Maps or Chrome, I can also see the details of those items. Let's talk a bit about analysis. Using the powerful content analysis wizard, I can have the data sorted by header so I can easily review it by context of the type of data. So all the items such as spreadsheets, graphics, multimedia, etc. are together for a quick review. There are also enhanced options with using the Image Analyzer add-on, where image data can be categorized for you. When the content analysis wizard has run and the index is generated, you can use that data to do some advanced searches in E3. The search options allow for the discovery of data through a variety of techniques. Simple searches from the index are very quick, and the data to review is listed below. You can click on the results and add them to a report or a bookmark easily. Once data is added to the report, you can go to the report wizard to generate a report that shows the results. There are a variety of report options where you can customize the report to your organization. You can see the search results in the report, and the report can be shared with others. This is just one of many different report types available in E3. One of the newest data sources for digital investigations is cloud data. We always recommend you follow the legal regulations for this type of collection. With E3, we will go through the process of capturing data through different cloud sources. We start with creating a case, and then we will go to the Cloud Import Wizard. This wizard can walk you through a variety of cloud collection options. There are additional options for specialized cloud collections associated with Google, OSINT, and Office 365. Once the Cloud Import Wizard has opened, we can either use authentication data from a computer or a smartphone device, or we can manually add those accounts. You can see the variety of cloud services that are supported for collection. If you navigate to the Tools tab, you can see some of the other options for Office 365. There are some additional steps to take to do this type of collection working with Microsoft Azure. Next, we can see the options for the Remote Cloud Collection. With this option, E3 makes a secure private link for a collection session that can be sent to an individual consenting to the collection. Once the individual receives the link, they can go through the wizard, sign the consent paperwork, and continue by providing credentials. These are securely sent back to the lab, and the collection can commence. The last collection is with the OSINT cloud option that allows you to focus on social media through the use of an investigative account. That account can be set up to allow access to the different social media platforms to do a collection. No matter what data you are looking for from the cloud, E3 offers options to do full or limited collections.